And yesterday was kind of going to be who made less mistakes. I don't know if we can predict what's going to happen in Game 3, but I'm excited for whatever it is.
We have a third of an inning, and that's her career at Minnesota for transferring to Texas A&M. Just catches the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Bajaron.
Love it, doing a nice job of working quickly, working ahead in the counts. You want to be efficient out here, especially against an LSU lineup that we... Yeah, Kennedy Powell's just done a really nice job in that leadoff spot, finding different ways to get on base, and whether it be, you know, standing in to hit, slapping, working a walk, she's able to do it all, and she seems just really comfortable in that spot this season.
Getting the start of the circle today for the Tigers, it's going to be the junior out of Lawrence, Kansas, number 18, Tatum Clopton. This will be her 5th. She's got 49 runs this season. That is good enough for 4th in the SEC play. Pops this one back at Coffey, who is able to make the play. So the off-speed pitch working for Clopton early on in this ball game. And she retires Kennedy Powell for out number 1.
Yeah, nice job by Clopton. Again, going...
Clopton will call time and step off as she was taking a while to figure out the sign. There's a pitch clock, and so she has to be mindful of that. Here's the payoff pitch to Harper. Just missed. 1 out away from getting out of the first.
Yeah, that one feels huge for LSU, especially knowing that you've got Mac Barbara now at the plate.
That pitch right down the middle of the plate. Barbara takes it for strike 1. Mac, the designated player, she is 3 for 5 on the weekend. Excited to be tied right there with Oklahoma, both 10 and 3. And then LSU trying to work their way into that top 4. And that's why even if you get beat in a series like LSU has now been beaten this weekend, every single game is so important. And so Tori Edwards and the Tigers really trying to end on a high note here in Bryan College Station. First pitch from Levitt is a ball. We've talked about a matter of who can hit themselves into the lineup. And today the freshmen getting the start.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of everybody this weekend. Grayson Coleman, we got Olivia Johnson yesterday. Like you said, the freshman Dee Baldwin back there today. I just think that it's kind of a matter of, at this point, still getting all of them reps as you get into the season, later into the season. It's a nice stop back there by Dee Baldwin, keeping the runners from advancing.
For those of you scoring at home, they did credit on the Sunday game. Texas A&M has clinched this series, but they have never swept LSU. And so this would be a massive win for the Aggies when you just take a look at it from a bigger picture. And then for LSU, obviously, trying to avoid the sweep. Trisha Ford and the Aggies swept by LSU in Baton Rouge last year, and she said coming into this weekend that Aggies, after making a great defensive play to end the inning, Woolley did not get the start yesterday for Texas A&M. Coach Trisha Ford said they wanted to give her a little bit of a rest. She's been a bit of a slump hitting-wise. Lays down a great bunt. Clopton, though, with a strong throw over to first. And talk about fielding your position. Nice play by the pitcher there for the
play by this LSU outfield. Allie Enright barrels that one up, but Leno, like you said, got a good jump. Records the second out of the inning, and still here we are going.
She said maybe they were comparing yellows.
Oh, I think she handed them a pack of gum.
Is Wainwright in center field. Coffey an uncharacteristic 0 for 5 in game 1 against the Aggies. She had 2 hits in yesterday's ball game. Lassiter flew out to left field in her first at-bat. She is now 1 for 6 on the weekend. Rips this one into center. On her way back is Enright over the shoulder, makes the catch. Coffey Kennedy tags and will advance to third, but what a catch by Allie in. And what you didn't see on that graphic is both years, Dee Dee Baldwin will pop up right to Clopton, so a quick out number one for Clopton and the Tigers. But Texas A&M was picked to finish considerably lower than they finished the season, so expectations weren't even high, and Trish Ford and her look to be okay. So Powell now over at first with 2 outs. Amari Harper, who drew a walk in her first at bat, will step in. They're immediately going to go to the pickoff play, which is not a bad idea if you're Bajaran, because she got KP yesterday, getting a little bit too off first base, and they were able to pick Kennedy Powell. The problem here is you can't walk both in a row, because then you're walking in a run.
Well, I was just going to say that's exactly why hitting Kennedy Powell is not great, because allowing another free base then sets up the current situation where if you are trying to pitch around Maya and Mac Barbara, where do you put Mac with the bases potential?
Yesterday with a big grand slam against the Aggies. Just like LSU has been careful with Perez and Barbara on the weekend, you can see Levitt being very careful with Tori Edwards here.
Well, we saw what happened yesterday when a changeup got left over the middle of the, and she's got speed, 3 triples.
Hey, we love you, folks.
Runner going on the pitch. Rudity strikes out looking, and Emily Levitt catches the throwdown. It's a little. LSU 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position on the day. Sierra Daniel trying to change that here. 2 outs and are scoreless heading to the bottom of the senior. So that's a big hit right there. And then on the wild pitch, she scoots down to second. So now the Aggies with a runner in scoring position, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, and Allie Enright with a 1-0 count. Allie lined out to Leno in left field in her first at-bat. Runners on the base path. Not a ton of traffic, but enough to put a little bit of pressure. And you feel like this is a big moment in this ball game. Lots of action down in the LSU bullpen. We'll see if they decide to make a change right now or if they keep Clopton in. She has pitched a gem of a game so far, but you're now looking at obviously the second.
Down the door when you have your opportunities. This felt like a big moment for the Aggies. And KK able to cash in with runners.
She's able to just get a piece of the changeup. Trish Ford says it's a good problem to have. We've seen it this weekend with the defensive shifts. Amari Harper in right field and at second, KK DeMint at second, and at short, Frankie Vrajel, one of the freshmen, able to. So now coming in for the Aggies, they're going to look back to their freshman, number 88, Kate Munnerlin, out of Los Gatos, California. Munnerlin came in yesterday against the Tigers, pitched 2 innings, I should say finished the 3rd inning, and then pitched the 4th, had 2 strikeouts, and only gave up 1 hit. Trisha Ford was very, very excited with Munnerlin's performance yesterday.
You have to be pleased with what the you know, Chelsea, you can kind of see where the ball changes its trajectory right there. Look at the zoom, this Hawkeye system. Or is this our camera?
Yeah, that's
Shout
just
out.
The camera right there. We will have a look at the Hawkeye system as well. Absolutely, by Hodge. 7th. And the SEC just continues to be a wild, wild conference of college softball.
Son and Kennedy Powell, like you said, recognizing that and turning the Jets on to get all the way to 3rd.
And the wind is definitely breezy today. The flags are moving nothing. And now Maya Perez, who is 0 for 2 on the day, will step in for the Aggies. The Aggies up 4-0 over the Tigers as we head to the 6th. And Donna, Texas A&M is going to bring in their ace. It's the senior out of the Woodlands, Texas, Emily Kennedy.
Not surprised by this one, Chelsea. Emily Kennedy, since last weekend especially.
Vrajel in right. Amari Harper moves to first. Grayson Coleman remains behind the plate for the Aggies, and that's where the defense is set right. Run for Bajaran at first. It's going to be the freshman, number 77, Samaya Jones. She has run in this series this weekend. So speed at first, and Tori Edwards up to bat for the Tigers. She'll take the first pitch for a strike. Edwards has reached both appearances. She was hit by a pitch.
Great throw by Allie Enright, not trying to force the throw to go home. You need to make that throw cuttable, because if Samaya Jones does what she does, which is hold up at third, it's important that that one doesn't go through to home plate, so that Runity then would end up at second base. You want to keep
Emily Kennedy. I don't believe they were on the same team, but they might have crossed paths for a year. 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball misses 2-1.
night, so it's not off the table.
But she is struggling to find the zone to the leadoff hitter, Coco Woolley, as it is now 3 balls and no strikes. Woolley singled in her last at bat. She also scored a run, hitting .364. And this is where the Aggies got things going back in the 4th. It's a leadoff walk for Coco.
Bag early before the pitch. This play is under further review.
So this will be LSU's final challenge. Each team gets 2. Beth Torina had already used 1 on the Leno bat situation. Everybody gets taken into account today, and what the Aggie pitchers have been able to do. It's just outstanding.
Yeah, and give so much credit to Emily Levitt, who got the start in the circle today, keeping the Tigers off the board and just setting the table for being able to pass the ball to Kate Munnerlin. And she comes in and does her job. Now Emily Kennedy.
Jayla Lassiter, she's 0 for 3 on the day, Donna, but she has hit the ball very hard in all 3 at-bats. Rips this one, that's foul down the right field line. She has lined out in the truest form of those words, has lined.
First time you watched it, instantly that one was gonna be well out of Davis Diamond.
So Edwards will Amari Harper fields it, steps on first, and the Aggies, for the first time ever, sweep the LSU Tigers as the 3rd-ranked team in the country improves to 37-5 on the season, 11-3 in SEC play. Donna, what impressed you the most about Texas A&M this weekend?
I just think that they continue to